I'm going to recap what all happened this week. My husband gave me a new present, turquoise earring. Whenever he goes to Arizona, he gives me new stuff. So I got an earring. I lost it in half hour. As soon as he got it, and he got it back. This is like the kitchen table session. Did I ever share with you guys the girl who wrote Kitchen Table Wisdom? Her name is Naomi Rachel Freeman. I don't know whether you guys know her. She is a doctor herself. She, what whether she's a pediatrician or a neurologist, something. I'll try to post in the comment section. She came to Harvard Medical School, so I actually went and attended one of her lectures. I forgot whether she did it in Mass General or Harvard, but I met her and she was talking to a few people. At that time, I was with Master Chowakotsui, so he had a meditation CD called Kabbalistic Meditation and Prayer on Universe. Prayer on, what is that? Our Father? What is that prayer called? So one side of the meditation CD was Our Father meditation, the other side is Kabbalistic meditation. Naomi is a Jewish background, so I gave her a gift with from Lakshmi Temple. They have a torn silk saree. They had it for sale, so I took out all the border that had the silk and I cut it up. And then, because she had colostomy, she had irritable bowel. I think she has a colostomy bag. So my theme was we are the ravagers of life, but we still hold the precious thing, which is the border. So that was kind of like what I made for her. So the meditation CD with the torn silk saree, I gave it to her person, and I told her, I hope even though it's a rag, she could see the beauty in it. So it's like kind of like a Hindu, Jewish, Christian gift I felt. Um, that's how I connected with her. She's such a beautiful soul. Anyway, so the reason I'm saying is this is like kind of like kitchen table. Right? I am in my kitchen table and I'm drinking my tea and I'm sharing what's going on. My new tea I'm making with edible camphor, karpura. I don't know. I went to the Indian store and he had the edible camphor. I have never seen it before. So I said, why don't I start making tea? This is a new thing I do, and plus I add moringa powders to it. So my morning, I have a pinch of moringa powder in my tea with camphor. And what else is going on? Oh yeah, today I'm doing a class on this Fiji and ship fragrances. I think it's up inverted, right? I think you guys will probably see it inverted. Share and ship. Why did I even get involved? The reason is sometimes when I I as a clairvoyant, I see the energy of the cat rather than the words. So sometimes some things jumps up at me and I know I need to do it and I don't question it. I don't like try to analyze what is what, but then when I saw the reason it jumped at me was the fern. I think the idea of creating fragrance with a forest. That's the way I saw it, like, the smell of forest to recreate. And since I am working with the energy of forest, Manishwar, um, and the whole thing this year was for some reason Ram image, like, I'm gonna get you guys all over the place, but that's the way I think. So, um, because I have a spatial ability to live, so I don't live the We and I think some people will get so and also when I get confused, I have a spatial disorientation. So the spatial disorientation, the way I mean, I'm not even going to the dysfunctional part, but the functional part, the spatial orientation, I think like a forest. So my theme this year was I created a force field in my yard, and I think my neighbors and also I started praying to the Earth Mother. The reason is the priest in Bellingham. This is how it all started. When I get like a task, I take it on and I give 100% energy. So the priest in Bellingham Temple, he's trying to build a Shiva temple, and he had a pancreatic cancer and he bounced back. I think it ended up being just a pancreatic cyst. So he had a triple surgery and decided to make a lifetime commitment to bring Shiva temple. So I met him because he apparently knew about this temple. I had no idea. It was used to be an Indian store in Bellingham. So we were driving one day and he said, "Hey, do you want to stop at Bhairav's temple? Bhairav used to be in Lakshmi temple, and when we got married, Bhairav was one of the priests." So I said, "Oh, I didn't know Bhairav started a temple in Bellingham." And that's when I saw it was an Indian store. I was surprised. And when we went in, Bhairav said his reason was he feels religion is not supporting the community. Many young kids are committing suicide, meaning like people in college years, and he feels the religion is not supporting emotionally the community, and he felt very called to do take up that piece, not just the religion, to bring celebrations to the community, so we would have a better anchor. So I decided to celebrate my dad's 80th birthday in the temple we hired, but for some reason my dad had the not the same vision like me, so it didn't kind of like come together the way I wanted, but it did um, take me in another direction, which is like to support Bhairav. So Bhairav told me he wanted to raise money, fundraise, so he'll have his own big 6.25 acre property in Bellingham. I think it's coming up for auction. And he said every 50 square feet, no, every 10 square feet, it'll be $50 donation. So I gave my $50 donation, and he said he wants to trademark it as Bhu Dana. Bhu means earth, Dana means donation. So I said, okay. I gave my uh, first $50 donation. But then I'm like thinking, if I have to donate, wouldn't I have to hold it first? So it didn't make sense to me. So I said, okay, to honor him, and I gave him my yantra. Interestingly, I had a yantra. It's called Lakshmi Ganesha yantra, right? Ganesh, Lakshmi Ganesha yantra. Ganesh is sleeping. You can see, very big. I usually put him with my what's his name? Banalinga is my Atmalinga. He sleeps with me. I have to go wake him up too. They hang out together. So that's his portal. You could see, right? This is the place where Bana went in, and they were like hug each other. It's still not ready. So anyway, so to continue the story, so I decided to donate something. I need to process it first. So Lakshmi Gubi, no Lakshmi Ganesha yantra I gave to the temple, and it got activated. The weirdest part was it got activated the minute Bhairav took it. he did a puja that day. It was, I don't know whether. And so Ganesh in his hand had this aluminum decorations. It was like weird, round shape, three rounds. So I'm like asking, hey, what is that? I always have a curious brain. He says it's called Pasa and Angusha. So Pasa is like had like three holes and he was holding, and the Angusha looked like a ribbon, but both made with aluminum foil. So I said, who made it? He says, Balaji Bhatta made it because they did a celebration, and I think it was either Ganesha Chaturthi or some celebration they had. Anyway, I'm all wrapping up with all the things that happened this year. So I give my yantra to him, and I say, hey, I think I want you to bless this. I was originally thinking of taking it back, but I think he loved it so much he kept it in his. It's almost like he does like spiritual counseling. So that room he kept it. So I didn't really want it back, knowing he's using it another way. But the weird part was the minute it touched Ganesh, it got activated. And the way I'm saying it is that energy from the temple reached my two fingers here, and I could see the activation happening from this finger. It goes to the intra, comes back. So I could see, like, almost like I was like a portal. So the intra, like, got anchored in me as well. So I was stoked, and I went and told him afterwards. And then the Kali, who is in his temple, like, she literally opened and looked at me and say, "Who are you?" And I really loved it. So I think that energy was very pretty. So I got like really very much involved with them. So that created that feeling in me. I need to um, create an energy portal in my space so I will be able to donate that earth, right? So that's when I started creating the force field. And at that time, for some reason, I started watching Ramayana. I have no idea how I even got involved because Ram is not one of my favorite energy, which I feel personally that he insulted his wife. And, like, I had like now feelings about him. But my teacher said that's not the case. He says it's called Vatavarana, like the space we create when somebody comes in our reality. He was saying Ram knew subconsciously what Sita wanted. And when she got pregnant, he said the ambience for his children was to be not manipulated by human emotion. So he really wanted them to grow up in the forest. And that's why he sent her away. This is his explanation. Kind of made sense to me. Uh, but only after I watched the Ramayana episode, it made more sense because Ram is actually his role is Kshatriya. He's a warrior god. So he doesn't really get involved with people's business. What he says is, I'm here to protect you while you do your business. So that was fascinating because I never understood Ram until the episode. So when Ram, like, he goes to the forest with his teacher, and his first role was to protect the forest from demons so the priest can pray, the saints can pray and do the Homa. So the Taragashwari is the reason he takes birth, this demon Taraga, who actually is a star herself, and she falls in love with the demon, and eventually she becomes destructive because when the demon was killed by the um, saints, she takes a very ferocious view of his killing and decides to become a monster herself and starts, like, doing her own thing, and there was no stopping her. And because she was a female, so they didn't really want to fight her, but she was unconquerable until Ram. Everybody goes and prays to Vishnu, and Vishnu takes the form of warrior god Ram, and he comes down. And Tarakashvari, meantime, is laid by him as a warrior. And I forgot like what reasoning he gives. I'd have to watch it again, like how he was able to. So the morality was she was saying, "How could you feel knowing I'm a female?" And he says, "It's not whether you're female or male; it's your cause, your intentions that I needed to put a stop to." And he says, at that point, in that intention level, it doesn't matter whether you're a female or not. So he uses a very different analogy for killing her. So then apparently after that, this is all I'm learning from different pieces, which was really fascinating. So he tells his teacher, "Hey, my purpose for this world is done. I'm going back." And he says, "No, no, no, no. You have other purposes as well." So he forces him to continue his human journey. And so he has to relearn the whole divinity in him, which was fascinating. I really fell in love with Ram and his energy after watching that, because I think I can watch it zillion times now. So then he goes, and meantime, I think the girl, I don't know whether it's Vaishnavi Devi or like somebody who is originally the form of Lakshmi, her lineage. There's a prayer, and Ravan encounters her and touches her hair. Apparently, piousness at that point, like they couldn't accept any version of male coming in contact with any part of female body without their permission. So she decides to kill herself, like sacrifice in the fire. And she says, "I'm going to take a birth. In this birth, I am going to make sure you are slayed by my husband, Vishnu, immortal." Like something like that. So she makes a resolution and she dies. So that happens to be the birth of Sita, who ends up marrying Ram because of that the encounter where he takes the bow and arrow, which is Pinaka of Shiva. Shiva actually has a bow and arrow, and Vishnu has a bow and arrow. So Shiva's bow and arrow is Pinaka, and Vishnu's bow and arrow is Saranga. Now again, the Saranga connection is that's the reason my soul took birth in India, because the biggest temple was Sarangapani. They call it Periyakol. Like whatever the temple is after that land. And the reason I know is I think I have a Buddhist background. That's why my original teacher was Master Chokuksi, and Master Chokuksi is Ram's lineage because he told us he's Avatar Ram. So it was so fascinating. So many things came into completion. So then, so that's when I realized there are two bow and arrow, divine bow and arrow, and Shiva is so sweet. When people tell him if he uses his bow and arrow, the world will be destroyed, he becomes distraught and he throws it on the earth. And that's how Sita actually picks it up and puts it back. And that's when people could understand her strength, because nobody could even lift it. So the father, when he observes, he says, "Whoever is able to take that bow and arrow and would be her correct husband," he decides. That's how when Ram comes, he's able to pick it up, but not only he picks it up, but he breaks it. But whereas his bow and arrow is called Saranga, and Parshuram approaches him and in his anger, he tells him, "How dare you break my uh, Guru Shiva's bow and arrow?" And he says, do the Saranga, which he is holding. See, the interesting thing is when Vishnu also hears that it is dangerous to use the bow and arrow, he, instead of throwing it like so, so I don't know whether I want to use this analogy. Like Shiva, his intention, he impulsively acts, right? He drops it. So I mean, thank God, good people find it. But like, remember, the weapons were found in Middle East. And wrong people got hold of it, and ended up being calamity and terrorism in Middle East. I'm not going to use names, okay? So that's kind of what like I was reminded of. But whereas with Vishnu, what he says is, okay, it is dangerous, so I'm going to give it to the Lord of Clouds, Varuna, and that's where it resides with Varuna, Lord of Clouds. So they use it during thunderstorm and stuff. So you could see, like he handed it over versus Shiva. Shiva is full of love, he kind of like that's another play act. I have to really sit and meditate on it. But anyway, so so then what happened is when I went to India, when I went and my time is not chronological because my time goes um, differently. I don't know how I even explain it, but anyway, when I was with my teacher, I went for Sadashiv 2006. I was sitting next to the banyan tree. That day I was very, very sad. And I put my head on the banyan tree and I was looking at Vishnu. See the way the banyan tree in here, actually it's called Vidudi, but actually it's Vidudi, right? Vidudi. So the banyan tree is huge. The entrance for the banyan tree was facing away from me. I was on the side, like so. I would if I was the banyan tree on my left side, so I sat on the left side of the banyan tree because the entrance was away. And from the left side of the banyan tree, Dakshinamurti is facing, and to his to his right is Vishnu's statue. Okay, so that's the triad. So Vishnu is standing, Dakshinamurti is sitting, banyan tree is here, and it's like again, I don't know why they made it that way, but I'm sure there is a reason. And my mom, when she had hepatic coma in 1986 or something, I forgot. She saw that Vishnu because I could go into her energy and I understood what she saw. My aunt knows it because towards the end of life she saw, hey, look at Venkateshwara, she was saying, and I knew exactly what she saw. And my mom, for some reason, hangs out at Nithyananda University where they make sculptures. I don't know whether it's my future project, but I know my mom hangs out there. So, because in one of my dreams, I saw I was on this side of the river, and my mom was the other side of the river, and they have a Manasarovar catchment area for water, which comes from Vaidya Sarovar, which is where the huge linga is. They call it Ananda Linga. So I could see she was on the other side of the river. And Chris Hamilton can confirm that because she was the one who pointed to my mom. And when I went physically there, I could see the Nithyananda University sculpture place where they make sculptures and all, or house there. So that's where my mom's soul is. Like she loves it there, so she hangs out there. But she'll always reach me. She also meditates around the banyan tree, so I could see her soul as well. So it was very interesting. So then the reason I'm bringing it up is so I could feel the energy of Sita when I was like putting my head on the banyan tree, and I could feel my whole sadness get wiped away. Like the banyan tree took just sponge it out all the time. And that's the amount of compassion that Banyan had. And I never felt sad afterwards. So, so then I actually afterwards had a disagreement with Swamiji, and I was so disappointed. And I really felt I have done my best, and I want to leave. Meaning, like not then, like a year later with the sangha and stuff, I had some sort of a disagreement. And Swamiji was saying, just these are all play act. I actually emailed him. He said, just work through it. He says, be will persistent. So I, in my soul, I felt, and he was like holding us all together, and I felt I was in the side of the banyan tree, and my soul, I decided to fly away. I could like leave, and that's when the energy from Venkateshwara just caught me and kept me in his lap. And so I could see, like, they were all connected, they were working together. So I was being held back because it looked like he said, we know who you are, we are not letting you go. It felt very comforting afterwards. So to come back to the Sita story, so when I was doing the forest in front of my home, um, I was then asking Vishnu, can I hold the saranga? I said, I would love to play with it. So in energy, he gave me permission to use his saranga. But the saranga, the purpose is you need to have a target. That's what I learned in the Ramayana. You need to point always at the target. Otherwise, like, you don't want to waste energy. So when Parashuram challenges Ram draws his arrow. But he says, I've already drawn, so it has to have a target. And he points it at Parshuram, and all this uh, energy drains out from Parshuram. And that's when Parshuram realizes how powerful Ram is. And so he asks for forgiveness, and he says to him, my ego and my anger destroys my life. So he says, I would like you to completely take away and kill my anger. So he says this arrow will be pointed east, and I'm going to take away your ego and anger, and it will be circulating the earth all the time. So that was so nice. I love Ramayana. Afterwards, like my kind of felt so thrilled. So I told Ram the same thing. I said, take away my ego, anger, and then he gave me saranga to play with them. So he interestingly gives me victory, and just at the shape of the bow, it dies. Okay, so it's permanently like a bow. And then Swamiji gave me uh, a trident pen. It's called Trishul, and he says, "Pen writes, Trishul rewrites your fate." That's what it says. And for some reason, I was doing my dreadlocks and I was separating them, and I was using the pen on the trident broke. So then I said, okay, I'll put it with the saranga so it will point. So, so it's like a perfect completion. So I actually put it. Then when I used it in my mind, the saranga with the pen, I pointed to the place where I have the front forest I was energizing, and I could hear water. And then when I pointed, like I could hear from. That's when I realized, oh my God, because see, I thought it was earth, but I think when Ram guided me, I could feel I hit the target, which was water. And interestingly, this year, when I started my journey, I think the Tithi, the most significant Tithi for some reason this year I started with was Vaishnavi Devi, Videya. and she guided me, and through her, so many projects came into place. And when I asked my um, higher guide, Chandrasekhara Swami, he said I need to work with body of water. So then I, it's like another completion. So like I was approached by a spa to do colonic hydrotherapy, and that kind of made sense because in energy I was asked to work with body of water, which colonic hydrotherapy is part of Panchakriya. So the Panchakriya is nasal, eye, and then colon cleanse. So all five, right? Five holes, two. So to reset the limbic system, you need to do the nasal and the eyes. So that I decided to do with CBD formula and essential oils, terpenes, to do limbic system rehabilitation, which I am doing in Lowell now. And then in Rhode Island, I'll be doing colonic hydrotherapy. And when this advertisement came to share and ship perfumery, I said, oh my God, this would perfectly fit in with my Panchakriya. So when I called her, she says this is the last class she's doing, and she only teaches people who have already done the basic course. And when I persuaded her, she will accept me as her student, and I was so thrilled. So I'm going for my final class today. So I took you guys all over the place, but I'm telling you, I'm reaching the finale today, the forest perfume blending. But every being is celebrating with me. One day I was very upset and I didn't even want to ask for help. And I could see everybody looking in. Who are you going to call for this? And yesterday I was so mad. I had an argument with my husband and I forgot what it was. And I came into the kitchen. Suddenly my uh, leg buckled and I fell. And that's exactly what happened to Shankara. So my teacher was saying, don't be too proud to ask for help. And I asked for his help. I asked for Shiva to bless me as well. Shiva, please bless me. Even though when I'm not asking you, please get into my head and keep blessing me, okay? Because sometimes I don't think. So I do want your blessing from her aspect. So I think all the higher beings of it that have come today, they will learn through me as well. Through our breathing space, we are going to create a fragrance, forest fragrance. Oh, the other completion is whenever we think of forest, for some reason we connote Sita with Ashoka tree because that's what I heard. Um, so Ashoka one means sadness for some reason because that's where she was held, as they say. I don't know if it's true. So I decided to tell Ram that I'm going to create Anandavanishwari. And because I was supposed to work with body of water, so the body of water that comes and cleans the Shivalinga once a year in India, it's called Sangameshwar. Sangameshwar is supposed to be coming alive once a year. So I have a portal for Sangameshwar, so I call him Sangameshwar. And then she Ram's Anandavanishwar is there. So I asked for blessing. So like they all are hanging out at me anyway. So I said I'm going to call it Anandavan, my forest. And, it doesn't matter what I call it. The intention is to have joy. So I think I got a blessing from all the trees as well. So I think, and I went to Block Island this year. First time I visited. finally I saw the fruit. Karli Vashni, who is Solapur Maheshwari, carries in her hand. They call it citron. It's not lemon. It's not orange. In India, they call it Nartanga. But in this country, it's an Irish version called Osage orange. It looks like a jackfruit in the middle and lemon on the side, and it made perfect sense because citron, if you look at Tamil meaning, is palapalam. Palapalam looking like a orange is impossible, right? But I found that fruit. I'm like saying, oh my God. So all the knowledge comes to me easily because I work with consciousness of knowledge. Her name is Varahi. She said all the hidden secrets are revealed to me on Trail. So I just have to, when I look at it, I know it, but I just have to work through the world to understand the world. So this ended up being a big video. And thank you. I loved sharing all this with you guys. This is like my finale for this event. My blessings to you all. Thank you, Swamiji, for being part of this journey. Oh, without my Swamiji, I'm nothing. I love you guys so much.